Hey everyone, this is Jennifer Sanchez. You are watching and listening to the Wise Coffee Chat Show on WRMN 1410. Thank you so much for joining us today. Who am I? My name is Jennifer Sanchez, the founder of Wise Alliance Network, as well as the newest author of Wise Women Empower Women that you can find on Amazon. We are here on the Wise Coffee Chat Show. Super excited with my guest today because I'm sure he's all about No B.S. So I want to hear what he has to say this morning. But if anyone wants to learn more about the radio show, go to WRMN1410.com. You can learn more about me at wisealliancenetwork.com. Or also you can find me on all the social media platforms, Wise Jennifer Sanchez. And of course, I got a shout out. I'm a mom of 3 beautiful girls. And I'm a real estate investor. So if anyone's looking to sell their home 30 days or less, no extra fees. I'm not a realtor. I'm an investor. Just want to put it out there for everybody that's listening and watching. So that's enough about me. I'm going to hand it over to my guest to introduce himself this morning.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Jennifer, for having me on the show. Wise Coffee Chat is Joe De La Torre. I'm on every platform at Chicago's Joe De La Torre, except Snap and X because it doesn't fit my last name, so I'm Chicago's Joe DLT. But I've been in business probably since I was 22. I am a co-author of 2 books, The Multiple Streams of Inspiration. I was in there with Les Brown, which is a big accomplishment. And I was doing seminars in Chicago for like 10 years. I just got kind of burned out and switched to doing advertisement on Facebook. So that's what I do currently. And obviously every once in a while I'll pop out at an event, but for the most part, I'm pretty low key, but I am wild online.
Yes, you are.
Wild online, low key in person.
I 100% agree with that statement because sometimes he posts things and I'm like, wait, what? What is he saying? And about? Why is he posting this right now? Yeah. But it's almost like that wow factor, right? Like, you're a disruptor.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that, which is like a marketing tactic, right? Yeah. Like you want to disrupt people and you want people to kind of be like you see all these social media people or these influencers that go and they'll say the most ridiculous things on social media just to get a following. Get clout, yeah. And then you're like, why are you following this person, right? You're like, this person has no knowledge, but because they said a sentence that appealed to you or shocked you, you know, now you're like, oh, this person got all these followers.
Yeah, I think most influencers ain't really talking about much. They just basically doing like cool, funny videos and people are following it. But if you ever had to interview them, they don't know, they don't have nothing to talk about, right? So like, but it's funny that you said the disrupting because part of my career, I was working with network marketers, MLM. And I created a group called Disrupt Network Marketing because basically everything I would talk about goes against the grind. So years ago when I was flying to Florida, when I used to run a sales company, I came up with this quote, and I know I can't say it because there's a swear word in it, but I'll say what I can.
Yes, please, no swear.
If you continue to follow the masses, you'll continue to be broke.
Oh, yeah, I like that.
Yeah, so basically what I'm saying to people is like, go against the grind, go against the industry. Whatever industry you're in, whether it's real estate, whether it's insurance, whether it's doing hair, do something different because why would they go to you when there's so many options? Definitely in the real estate world. Like I used to work with real estate marketers too, and we used to have a group called Keeping It Real Estate, and I work with them just specifically.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think so your background is marketing, and you've been doing this for how many years?
Well, I've been in business since 2002. I've been doing probably the marketing and advertising probably for the last 15. Facebook advertising specifically, I probably started doing that about 10 years ago,
Yeah. So how, I know we talked about this on your interview, like how has, and I know how the marketing has changed over the years because I've been in marketing since, I don't know, 07 or 08. So like how has it, what have you seen or what changes have you seen since?
Well, one thing I will say is that there is a difference between marketing and advertising. Mm-hmm. So people use the word marketing like nothing, okay? Yeah. Marketing to me is more like building your brand. And like when I first got on the scene, I would notice that a lot of business owners were more focused on building their brand. So they're spending money on graphics, they're spending money on different things that look good. But at the end of the day, you're not getting customers from that. You just look good online, but you're not getting anybody to buy from you. So the difference between marketing and advertising is where you're spending money to target specific people that are in your market that would buy from you. So this is the reason why I got into Facebook advertisement, because now I can actually take a client and we can market to anybody. So like if I want to find a 27-year-old that lives with his mom in a basement that drives a Prius, we can put that in an ad and we can find that specific person versus what most people do. They're on social media. They're promoting all over the place, but most people that follow you are not going to buy from you anyways, right? So I think the biggest change is that from when I started, because I started all the way back to MySpace, to now. Yeah, I know.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that funny? I used to recruit people on MySpace. But basically what I've learned is that social media is it. There's nothing it's not going to change. So anybody that doesn't want to jump on that trend, then you're going to be left behind. And like right now, I'm working on a new client, and they have a business where they rent baby equipment for like if you're traveling, but they're so old school. Like they're a 40-year-old company. It's a mom and pop shop, but they're so old school that they literally don't want to change. They don't want to do Facebook advertising. They don't want to do social media. You have to. Because if you don't, what's going to happen?
Yeah, it's almost unavoidable, right? Like you can't kind of run away from this social media monster. Like everything's revolved around it. Even like at the school, right here at the school, it's like we have to even integrate like social media, digital marketing, how to do it here. Yeah. But they don't remember when it was like guerrilla marketing, or when they remember like you put stuff on billboards, like you know they don't remember those type of marketing tactics, right?
I mean, think about it. Back in the day when we didn't have social media, people had to advertise in magazines and do like a whole article,
the yellow book.
Yeah, or you had to do the yellow page, or you had to do like pretty much you would hope that someone would find you. So even like let's just use the yellow page as example. There's so many numbers in there, right? So you got to put the ad that's popping, like the biggest ad in there so that people can see it, right?
Yeah.
But today, like, whether you like it or not, social media is not going anywhere. Like I said, I jumped on it when it was MySpace. I remember when I jumped on Facebook, people were like, I was posting more motivational stuff. I wasn't talking trash like I do now. And people are like, oh, you're a life coach? And I'm like, life coach? What is that? Like, it's something they created. It's not even a real thing where you can go to a school and get promoted to be a life coach. And then I was like, I did a video about it. I'm like, some of these people that are life coaches, they need a life coach. Like, how you going to run my life?
No, absolutely. That is, wait, hold on. That is true. Like I say that all the time. Psychologists or people that are in the industry still need their own psychologists. They still need their own therapist. They still need their own coach because you're still human. So like, you're not a superhuman when you're in that industry, you know? Yeah. I think people still have flaws. So I like that you're saying, like you said that, because it's true.
Oh, man, when I created that video, I had life coaches coming at me because they're like, oh, who are you to tell me and this and that? I was like, I'm just talking to the people. No, I'm not talking to the life coaches. I'm talking to the people that hire these life coaches. And I'm like, yo, this woman doesn't even have her life together, and you hiring her to help you with your life. But again, it's a made-up term. Like, a lot of people got rich basically creating these schools where you can come and get certified to be a life coach. But what's the certification based on? Nothing. Mm-hmm. It's based on the school saying that, and now you have a certificate that I could have made on my computer, and you paid $5,000 to $10,000 to get certified for that. Like, you got to be kidding me.
Well, here we go. Here's where I disagree with you, because usually I've been agreeing with you with most of the things you say. Yeah. But no, I do think there are. Well, maybe when it first started, people were just saying I'm a life coach, right? But now I feel like, because I'm master's in life coaching, so I'm like, I actually got it. So for me, when I did the program, right, it was actually, there was a lot of like scientific evidence, and I think the difference is between like someone that doesn't maybe want to get the MSW or the licensure, right? Yeah. Be licensed. You could go through the life coach avenue. That's why I did it, because I was like, I don't want to get my license. Then there's ethics and laws that you have to abide by, right? Like, you can't be friends with people that you coach, right? You're not supposed to. There's ethics.
This must be something new, because we're talking like when I did this video, this was like,
I'm sure it was, I'm sure it was different. No, you're not. Technically, you're not supposed to become friends with your clients as a therapist. Okay. And it's funny, because even my own therapist, when I started doing therapy with her, she's like, just so you know, I'm unfriending you on Facebook now. What? You know, so is that serious? Yeah, you know, because she wants to make sure she follows rules.
So are you saying therapist or life coach?
Therapist. No, therapist. Okay, therapists, which are licensed, right? Yeah, so they go for the clinicals or whatever they do extra. Yeah. I didn't want to do all that extra stuff, right? Yeah. So that's why I was like, let me just go through the coaching. And I was seeing it more as like, I always say, like, a coach is always about the future, because you do coach, right, in business, right? You're always trying to say, how do we get to the next thing? How do we go from A to B, or A to B to C, right? Yeah. Versus therapy is really working back. Like, let's deal with like your trauma, and let's deal with what you dealt with, right? Unresolved stuff. That's the difference for me when I talk to people. And then a mentor, I kind of say, like, a mentor is someone that's going to guide you and lead you, that actually has gone through it, right? Yeah. Because a life coach I don't need to understand your business to coach you in business. Right. I mean, in the sense of like the ins and outs, like, I don't need to know how to make a cheeseburger to teach you how to make money in business or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Well, two things I thought of when you said that. One is that when you are coaching people in business, you are really become their life coach, because they ask you about advice for everything, like their marriage, my children. They ask you about what do I do about this? Because like once you put yourself in a role where you're their mentor, they're going to ask you about everything, even though you're making it about business, right? But one of my favorite quotes is that when you live in the past, you live in regret. When you live in the future, you live in anxiety. And the only time you can be at peace is living in the now. So like right now, every day, like even this interview, I'm here in this moment. This is all that matters. I ain't thinking about yesterday. I ain't thinking about tomorrow. I'm thinking about right now. And I think that's why I think most people will get into drugs or they like to party because they like to like get away from life for a day. But why can't you just live like that every single day and just be like, today's a new day and I'm going to live it?
Well, that's literally why people are anxious, because they're thinking about the future.
Right. Like, what's going to happen?
Yeah, and then you become super anxious. And I know sometimes I even struggle with anxiety. Or backwards, right? If you're thinking only about the past, then you're depressed.
Yeah, you're like, all the regrets.
All the things or the woes or what I didn't do right or what could have gone right. Then the middle, I like the fact, like, be present. Like, I think a lot of people don't do that.
Yeah, so have you ever seen the movie The Wolf of Wall Street?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so you like
I was not going to say that.
You say you love it.
No, I don't.
No, so because
it's a good movie.
When I used to run a sales company, I was like the Wolf of Wall Street with all the hookers and all the cocaine. Like we didn't do that.
That's why I was like, no.
But I mean,
I like the storyline.
But you know, it's based on a real guy.
Yeah, I know.
And I listened to his audio program. It's called the something mind persuasion. I don't remember, something about persuasion. But one of the things that I never forgot in that audio series is that he said that we have to forgive ourselves for the mistakes we made, because if you live in regret or if you live in like you feel bad, you're guilty, that's a weakness. You cannot feel guilty. So you kind of have to forgive yourself for all the mistakes you already made, because if you don't, you're never going to be able to move forward because you're still stuck in the past. And there's a lot of people like that.
Yeah, no, I that's actually good. I didn't know that. I should look into that. I mean, I think even for someone like of that, his storyline with everything that he did, and I'm sure Hollywood, like, they made that super extra too, right? Hollywood had to put that wow factor in there.
He wrote the book when he was in prison.
Yeah.
And then when he got out, they actually wanted to do a movie about it because it's based on a true story. So I love watching movies that are based on true stories. That's why it's one of my favorite movies, not because of all the crazy stuff that goes in it, but it's kind of crazy that he did all that stuff and really made that happen. So Jordan, his real name is Jordan Belfort. And I want to say that the program was called The Straight Line Persuasion, I think. But either way, he still does audios. He's an influencer now. I tried to book him to speak at one of our events back in the day. And it was a decent price, but there was a reason why we didn't go through with him, because I don't think enough people know him for it to make it worth it, if that makes sense.
They might just know the movie.
They know the movie, right? I would have to promote the movie, right?
Yeah, this
guy's gonna be here.
Yeah, the guy from the Wolf of Wall. And that probably would be like, what? You know?
Yeah.
Then that comes with a whole nother like baggage because of the movie itself, right?
Yeah.
So now you're associating yourself with that brand.
Yes, but like when I watched the movie, we did a lot of that crazy stuff. Like I ran a lot of sales people, and they were usually between the ages of 18, 25. So we were partying. We did all kinds of crazy things. If you would lose your sales quota, you would have to do a boot camp, or we'd make you like wear something different. I remember we went to Florida and if you lost and you were a man, you had to wear a pink V-neck. And oh my God, these guys look so silly. And for some reason, the women were the ones that killing it. And they would let the men know about it. Like, you all suck. Like, the women were the best when it came to production, recruiting.
Really?
I don't know. The men just couldn't hang it. They couldn't handle it.
Really? Why do you think that is? Why do you think the women were killing it more than the men?
I think the women had like a attitude, like, and I guess it was a lot to do with what I would say, because I would basically tell women, like, do you want to be independent, or do you want to always depend on a man? You always want to be like, so it's kind of like I got there. With the men, I think the men were just they felt overwhelmed. I think it's the same reason why a lot of men don't comment on my social, because mostly women comment on my stuff. So like any man that comments on there, you better say something good, man, because you got 15 strong women that will chop you up. So I think, if anything, the men just didn't have the same confidence. Like, they didn't believe in themselves. And I think maybe it probably got to them that these women are whooping you, man. They're like, kill you in the sales. You're not even on the same level.
Yeah, I think also, I mean, it helps I think women have some pluses, right, when it comes to sales. Like, you not only if you're attractive, you probably sell even better, right? Like, and if you're confident, if you have charisma, you're gonna sell even better, right? So it's like there's all these things. So I think in the sales, I could see why women might kill it more than men, right? Yeah. Like you have to be a real suave guy to sell, like, right?
I think another reason why, and this is the reason why I work mainly, most of my clients are women, because women are trainable, coachable, and teachable, whereas men, I got it all figured out. I don't need to learn anything. Men don't like to even stop for directions. Luckily, they created GPS, because we would drive around the block for hours to figure it out, because we a man, we don't need to learn from nobody, right? So I think it has a lot to do with ego. And women are willing to learn. They want to learn, whereas men, they don't want to learn.
Yeah, no, I think at one point, I think I told you I was trying to like do stuff with men, like masterminding with men. And then I remember I had a meeting, and then I was like, I kind of saw like the chest thumping, like, you know, like the gorilla stuff. And I was like, nah, I'm good. You know what? I don't like this.
My challenge is I stopped letting men come to our seminars, because when we have seminars, there's a lot of high-end, like hot-looking women, like beautiful, like sharp-looking women. So the men would only go to the seminar just to try to hit on the women. I've even had a guy that spoke for me, and he's not that known in Chicago, but he's a little decently known. And he was hitting on women from the stage. He was just pointing out women, are you married? And I'm like, why are you asking that? How's that to do with a business seminar? So like at the end, I had to tell him, you can never speak for my group again. You can never speak for my event. I remember I had this one event with Sharon Lecter from Rich Dad Poor Dad. We called it Think Rich Chicago. And the two guys, the guy that runs the office, he had a big place, and the guy that I brought as a speaker, they're literally fighting in the back while this thing is going on. And I'm younger than, right? So I'm like, you both are grown men. Why are you fighting in the middle of a seminar? Get it together. So like, again, it goes back to working with women. They're just easier to work with. Whereas men, what you said is ego. I know everything. I don't need anything. And they're constantly trying to one-up you. Like, I don't need that, man. Like, my only competition is myself. I don't need to compete with you.
And so it sounds like you have, you're not driven through your ego.
No.
Right?
No. But at some point I was.
At some point, and I think that might be something hard for men in general too, and women too, like to like let their ego kind of die or shove it down. Right? How have you been able to manage it too in this industry as a speaker?
Oh, well, I mean, how I got into it is first I went to everybody's seminars. I went to everybody's networking things, and I basically started collecting business cards, right? So I was kind of watching what everybody was doing.
Sure.
And then I said, you know what? What I've learned about most of these events is that it's more motivational. Now, we're from Chicago, so we keep it real. So if you want to motivate and you want to literally inspire Chicago people, you better say some real things. Like, right, we talk real. So all I did was create a seminar that was pretty much saying, we're no BS, we're straight to the point. We're not going to, if you come to our event, it's going to be straight fire. Like, one of the things I used to always say is, like, I'm not Willy Wonka. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. So people came specifically for that because they knew when you're going to listen to our group speak, we're not going to do motivation. We're going to basically tell you everything you're doing wrong and basically tell you this is the reason why you're not doing anything. And I'll even break it down to them, right? Yeah. I remember one of the bullet points was your website sucks. And basically it does, because a website is just an internet brochure. Okay. Yeah, it takes 7 times for a person to go to your website before purchasing. So a lot of people will spend thousands of dollars on a website and have no customers from it. So then what was the purpose?
What's the purpose of the website? What was the purpose of
it? Yeah. So I started creating landing pages, and this was around the time when you were talking about guerrilla marketing and all that.
Yeah.
So one of my businesses for a while was just creating landing pages. If you're going to be on social media, then you got to create some kind of, if you're creating traffic, well, how are you going to capture that traffic? That's why we would do landing pages, and they would do like a webinar, like a 1-hour training. People would sign up, and now you have a list of people that are interested in what you got to do or what you're saying, and then that's how you would sign up people for your business or whatnot.
So now let me ask you, because you said you're from Chicago, born and raised in Chicago?
No, actually, I grew up in Addison.
You grew up in Addison? Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. And then you're Mexican, Italian, correct?
No, everyone thinks I'm Italian or Puerto Rican. I'm actually Mexican and Spaniard.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And I knew it was a European. I just didn't remember. Okay, so Mexican and Spaniard. Who was Mexican? Who was Spaniard?
On my dad's side is the Spaniard. My mom's Mexican. My dad though was born in Mexico City.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
that's where my dad's side. My mom, I could never remember the name. It's like a little town, so I can never remember. And I ask her like every other month, like, "Hey, what is it called again?" I was gonna write it down because I have no idea.
You have no idea.
No clue. No.
Have you visited Mexico?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been to Monterrey. I've been to Puerto Vallarta. I've been to another little town. I just can't remember what it was called, but yeah, I went there when I was a little kid, and I went there on my honeymoon.
Nice. So growing up here, because I know that that's something that I've picked up. Like you were raised though in Addison, like you're very Chicago. You come off very Chicago, right?
That's because when I was younger, from the time I was like 14 to maybe about early 20s, I was a street kid. So I did run with a street gang. I did actually run a street gang. So I basically hung out a lot in Cicero, hung out a lot in Pilsen on 18th Street. So I rolled with a lot of like real bangers. So that's kind of where I got it from. I did go to prison when I was 17. So basically I was like this little 140-pound kid. Basically, like I was scared. I ain't gonna lie, I was scared. But like I just had to grow up fast by hanging out with these guys.
Oh, of course, because when you hang out with those crowds, yeah, I get it. I was born and raised in the city, so I understand 100%. It's like, you know, I even tell my daughter to this day, like little suburban girl, like you don't want to mess with these city people. City people will eat you alive. You know, and you don't even know what you just ran into. Right, you know, but so now, how have you overcome all of that? Since that was something that you were around growing up, right? Like how'd you even navigate that and get into like this position?
Well, true story, and a lot of people that know me personally know this story. But like in '97, when I was 17. That was the same time I went to prison, but before that happened, the kids call it ops now, but like the ops are my rivals. They basically firebombed my house. So I was living on the third floor. My mom or my grandma and my cousin was living on the second, and then a young couple lived in the basement. And when one day I was on the phone, and all of a sudden I heard this bang, and they threw 40 ounces of gasoline through the middle. And I remember that was time I came outside. I was like screaming. I was ready to go. And long story short, like basically it made us move, and they put me in not witness protection. They put me in like protection custody for a little bit, and then I moved to Naperville.
Wow, wow, that's.
So I've seen some trauma.
Yeah, you have some trauma. Or I mean, resolved trauma. I would hope, right?
But you asked also how did I change it? When I moved to Naperville, I was still being dumb, so it didn't change. I brought it to Naperville, and the Naperville Police Department did not like me. Like, man, this kid. He's just bringing an element we don't know. So I was fighting with a lot of people in Aurora. But how I changed is I met my mother, my children at the time. And when I met her, I remember I got locked up one more time for hanging out with my friends again at 21. And that was the last time I ever got locked up again. And basically it made me decide, like, this is a waste of my time. This is a waste of my energy. So I got to do something different. So that's why when I turned 22, I started my first business. And then I moved to Houston for 2 years to run a fire safety company.
That's awesome. So I think just that story itself, the transition, you know, you said no more, you started your own business. That's probably the best way. I mean, you learn so much from being an entrepreneur. I think being an entrepreneur will change you and mature you and grow you up, or help you grow up, right? Because you're like, oh, I'm assuming you had to provide, right? You were a provider. You have your kids. How many kids do you have now?
3 kids.
3 kids. So I'm sure you were like, oh, I got kids. I have a woman I got to take care of. It gives a different sense of responsibility, right?
She made me want to change for sure. I wanted to give her a better life, even though I didn't care about what I was going through with my life, what I was doing. But also at the same time, like, I don't regret anything because I did learn a lot from the streets. But I just like entrepreneurship because there's no bias. Like, anybody can do it. Right, you can have a background, you can be a woman, man, you could be any race. So like when it comes to being a business owner, you have free reign, right? You have free to do whatever you want. So I think that's why I went into it because I have a felony, it was hard to get a job. Yeah. So then I was like, well, what else am I going to do? I want to make some decent money. So then I just started my first business. I was working with a sales company and from out of Minnesota. And then I started with them, and then I ran a sales office for them for 2 years. I got promoted to vice president of sales, like within 5 years. And then I had a fallout with the owner, and then basically started my own company and just took everybody with me.
Wow. All right. Well, you guys, everybody that's here, we're going to take a quick short break, but when we come back, we're going to keep talking with Joe, learning more about his story and what he's doing and why he's doing what he's doing. But you guys are listening to WRM1410.com. Make sure you go to the website to learn more about the station, as well as check out Wise Jennifer Sanchez on all social media platforms, Wise Coffee Chat. Thank you so much. Be right back. All right, we are back. You are listening to the Wise Coffee Chat Show on WRMN 1410. If you are interested in learning more about WRMN 1410, go to WRMN1410.com. We are here today with Joe De La Torre. Super excited. We have been talking about his story, how he got into the industry, why he got into the industry. Also shared about like some of the things that he's dealt with as a young man and how he, transitioned into this now seminar guru, advertising expert, family man, right? Which I think is inspirational because, a lot of our Black and brown community usually goes the wrong way, right? And you actually flipped it. You've been in a book with Les Brown, which, by the way, when I saw that, I was like, I love Les Brown.
Yeah, I met him a couple of times. I've talked to him, for sure.
And I think his story is, correct me if I'm wrong, he didn't know how to read, right? And he had to teach himself how to read. He was also a disc jockey, right? So that's kind of how he broke into the speaking world. And he figured out he was a good speaker, right? And now he speaks all over, knowing that he didn't know how to read. And like, I thought that was cool.
Les Brown's amazing. He's a motivational speaker, and I've listened to some of his programs, and he taught me some good stuff on how to get speaking engagements. You would have to like really search for him now because he doesn't make those kind of audios anymore. But there was a CD program that taught you how to start a speaking business. And one of my favorite quotes when I heard him speak live, he said something. He said, some of us aim too low and hit rather than aim too high and miss. And ever since I heard that, I'm like, man, that's so good. Too many of us out here right now aiming too low and hitting rather than going for the stars and missing, right? Just go for it. Go for it because what do you got to lose? You only live once. And like, I don't understand. We people use the word YOLO. You ain't living your life. You keep saying it. You're like, oh, YOLO. No, you're not. If you're not taking risks, then it makes no sense.
What's YOLO mean to you?
You only live once?
Yeah.
Like kind of like what I said, every single day I'm living it up. Like every single day, if you watch my social, I'm out there, I'm doing fun stuff. I'm always positive, high energy. And I think like some people are intimidated by that, but positive and negative, they can't hang out. Sorry, like my positivity is going to overrank your negativity and you're just going to get annoyed. And then you're going to probably be a hater and just say, I don't like this guy. Oh, you don't like me because I'm positive and you negative. You hate your life? I don't. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, and I think sometimes when someone really embraces like YOLO, right, it's just, I don't know, I guess I'm in a season where I get to do what I want, when I want, and how I want, right? Yeah. And that's, to me, that's more YOLO. Like I have the freedom, right? Doesn't mean I got to do
single.
Oh, I guess.
Yeah, because when you're single, you're free. You are free. Yeah, there is some peace and solitude.
There is. Well, it's sad that statistically women are more successful when they're single, right?
Yeah. Well, of course, yeah.
Right, because now and their businesses flourish better, right? Yeah. When they're single, but then when they're married, it's the opposite. Yep. Men actually flourish better when they're married in business. Yeah. What do you think about that?
Well, men, I think any men, we were talking about it when we were on the break, is that men definitely want a feminine woman, right? So if you're Miss Independent, Miss I don't need you, that's kind of hard. Like, we don't want that. We want a woman not to be like just at home and do nothing, but we want a woman that's feminine, lets us shine and be our number one cheerleader, right? Whereas when women were the opposite side, men are very, very jealous of their woman. They don't like her to be independent. They want her to be needy. They want her to need him, and that's not good. I don't agree with that. I think, like, if you have a woman and she's in a business, you guys should be building together. You should be building an empire together, and you should be her number one cheerleader, and he should be her number one cheerleader, and vice versa, right? Yeah. But that's not how it works, right? Especially if you date a Latino man. If you date a Latino man, he don't want you to do nothing. He wants you to go home, sit there, cook and clean, and like, wait, where are you going? I want to go to be independent. No independent for you. I want a job. No job for you. I want to do, they don't want none of that. And how I know this is because a lot of the girls that work for me in my sales company, they were all Latinas. And they had men. Some were married, some weren't. Their men were so jealous that they're making $100,000 a year and their man's making like $40,000 working at a warehouse. I don't care. You got to be a secure man to be with a woman that makes more money than you. So that's probably the biggest challenge, I would say.
What would you say to, because sometimes me on this side, right, intimidating men is a real thing, right? And I get it. It's like, okay, I can be feminine as possible and submit as much as I can and be all that, but still just knowing.
No, I don't think you intimidate men. I think what you do is you intimidate boys.
Oh, pues
They're not men. They're not men. Because if you're a man, what you worried about if your girl makes money? Like, She was making money before you met her. So why would you want her to go broke now and just rely on you? That makes no sense. But there's not really men like that out there. There's not many that want to see their woman shine as much as like he's shining. But again, I feel like it makes no sense to me because like if I'm an entrepreneur, right, and I even put it in my Facebook dating profile, if you're an entrepreneur, that's a plus because I'd rather have a woman that's in a business or has a business because I would be her number one supporter and I would want to help her build that business, right? I wouldn't just be like, oh, what are you doing that again? And why? No, that's how men are. I don't know what's wrong with them. It's insecurity, right? A lot of men, or I should say boys, they're very insecure. They don't basically want a strong woman. They want a weak, shut up, don't do anything, say whatever, do whatever I say. That's not the type of woman I want. I just want a woman in her feminine. And like you were saying when we were off the break, men treat you different, right, when you act feminine.
Of course, yeah. And I need to know when to turn it up and when to turn it down. Yeah. Right? So it's like, okay, if I'm more in my feminine energy, you post this all the time on social media. That's why like I vibed with you in that sense. I was like, yeah, that's true. I'm very traditional. I believe in traditional roles. I do also believe in like, now anybody that doesn't, more power to you. That's not you, not me. But I'm definitely the person that like, I still want to do my thing, right? I still want to like do what I have to do, right? But then when I've met in the industry, like when I went through my divorce or my separation and started working in real estate, it was heavy men, right? It's a male industry. But then I started noticing how like I would be successful. And I was like, I didn't really have to do much, right? Like not in the sense of like, I didn't have to like, people were always helping me. Men were always helping me. Men always wanted to help me, coach me, guide me. And I was like, why is that? Like, why? But then it was probably just because I'm a woman and I'm in my feminine energy. I think men tend to want to cater more. And I've had friends tell me like, sometimes just being around a feminine woman, I just want to be around a feminine woman. I don't, because they're always around men, you know, and you guys are always thumping your chest at each other. But with a woman, there's that competition really doesn't exist there, right?
That's probably another reason why I worked with more women too, because they're not trying to compete with me. Whereas if I recruit men for my company or I recruit men for my sales company, the men at some point, it doesn't matter if it takes 3 months, it takes 6 months, they always try to compete with me. Don't even try, homie. I will chop you up. You have no shot when it comes to trying to make me look dumb or trying to make me look like I don't know what I'm talking about. And it's only men that do that, right? But every once in a while, I'll get some women haters. But for the most part, women are more supportive. They want to see you shine. They like actually give you the compliment. Oh, you know, I really like you did that speech. So it feels good to be around a support system. Whereas men, they're not trying to support you. They're trying to rip you off. They're trying to take something from you or whatnot. And I learned that the hard way by working with a lot of different men in this industry, definitely in the seminar world. They just shady dudes. And I've called out Anthony Robbins. I remember I called out Grant Cardone. I called out Ty Lopez. These are all influencers that were really popular like 10 years ago. Ty Lopez, I remember I called him out on his Snapchat. He blocked me. And the only one that almost came close to working with was Grant Cardone. He actually liked what I talked about. Oh, wow. And then Gary Vee, that was another guy. But like at the end of the day, these influencers, and this is what I said on the video, they do these big seminars and they basically know you're not going to use any of their programs, but they don't care. They're trying to sell you the most expensive program they can. I remember I'd go to these seminars and I'd see people walking out with like $12,000 worth of programs. He's never going to use them. We call them shelf help. You're going to put it right on the shelf, and you're not ever going to use it. Whereas me, when I bought a program, I dissected it as soon as I got home.
Well, I think the statistic is only 20% of people will actually take what they're learning.
Right.
So like when you're, and this was one of my coaches, she told me, I remember it was like, okay, you got all these people, they're all going to buy, only like 20% are actually going to dissect, the rest are going to put it in the closet.
Right,
And it's true. People will like, they want to, the shiny bit syndrome, they're like, oh, this is cool, I want it, but then they don't do anything with it.
Yeah, I think, you know what I think it is? It's kind of like one of the people that do seminars here in Chicago. I told her, like, you need to start having people sell stuff at the events, because if not, people feel, they walk away like, I didn't get anything. It's crazy to me that people want to buy a program because it makes them feel like they're moving forward and they're like taking a step in their career. Now, whether they use it or not, that's on them being lazy and not ambitious. But like, I'm not spending $1,000 on a program I'm not going to listen to. Are you crazy? But that's what people do. They'll buy the programs because they just feel like, if I buy this, right, a shiny, you said it, shiny object syndrome, then I'm going to move forward, but then they don't even use it, right? So I just feel like, I stopped doing seminars because I just didn't want to be like those guys. And that's a lot of what they do. They basically just sell you stuff. You know, they sell stuff to you that you're never going to use, and they don't care. They know you're going to do it. And then what they do, a lot of them will start selling to each other's list. So once they run out of their own list, then they're like, okay, let me do a collaboration with this guy, sell to his list, he'll settle mine. So I remember when I did that video, I did get some hate on it because people love to go to seminars. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with seminars. I'm just saying go there being aware that they're not there trying to help you, okay? They're just trying to sell you as much as they can in a short amount of time as they can. Whether you use it or not, they don't care.
Yeah.
They don't really care.
They don't. And I think that's something that I had to learn even as a coach. After a while, it's like, they're going to take it whether they want. They're going to, like, in the beginning, I wanted everyone to, like, change their lives. Yeah. Right? Yeah. I want to make a difference. I've been there. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going to change everyone. You believe that because you're good at what you do and you care.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to listen to you and everybody's going to change. No, because some people, they don't want it. They say they do, but, like, when it comes to the work and it comes to, like, what they got to do with it, no, they're like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, and that was so disappointing after a while. It was just like, they're not changing.
Right.
They're not doing what they got.
You feel like it's your fault.
And you feel like it's your fault. And it's like, and then to a point, then I was like, I'm always pouring into people. And I was like, I'm burnt out.
Yeah.
I'm done.
So I used to always say, like, you can lead a person to a seminar, but you can't make them think. At the end of the day.
Like a horse to water.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, because, like, just because you came to the room and just because you're in there listening, you're taking lots of notes, are you going to go home and implement anything that you learned today, or are you just going to go home and basically say, oh, well, that was fun. That was really exciting. I'm motivated. So, like, I call people out on that, though, in the seminar. Like, some of you guys are going to buy this stuff, and you're going to do it, and I'll tell them straight up, and you're going to go home, and you're going to put it right on your shelf. You're not going to do nothing with it. And, like, oh, I'll show you. I'll prove to you. I hope you do. I hope you actually do listen. You actually do take the stuff and implement it, because the way I coached people, I kind of just push them until they get annoyed or until they're like, I don't really want that much accountability. And that's what it comes down to. They don't want accountability.
That's what it comes down to. They don't want accountability.
Nobody.
Especially if being accountable to somebody, like that is where you actually change. That's where the change really happens. If you don't want accountability, then don't go to these events or don't hire a coach, right? Because that's really what a coach does.
Yep, exactly. Like, so since I've come from the same industry that you come through, like I said, I used to run masterminds, I used to run coaching groups, I used to run all different stuff. And then people would hire me privately, work with them for a couple of months, sometimes a year. And a lot of my time is telling them everything they're doing wrong. And they don't want to hear that because they want to know they're doing things right. No, if you were doing things right, you wouldn't hire me, right? You wouldn't be working with me. If you were doing things right, we wouldn't have this conversation. And that's the problem I have with men. They basically will want to work with me, and then once I start giving them a couple of things they got to do, they don't like it. Okay, well then, bro, if you're already doing good, then I don't need to waste my time. Yeah, like, I'm not wasting my time.
Like, I had a girlfriend. Oh, she actually was first a client. See, a lot of my clients from back in the day end up becoming my friends, right? Good friends. And then she'd be like, I want to lose weight. I can't lose weight. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I'm doing this. And I'm like, hire a personal trainer, right? Yeah. But she would avoid it. She would avoid it. And I'm like, every time. Same answer. I would give her the same answer every time. Hire a trainer. I'm a big believer, like, if you need something, hire a trainer. Because, can I do everything on my own? Sure, I can go to the gym. But I'm not being held accountable. Hiring a personal trainer will hold you accountable. And now you have to meet them at a time. Right? I don't want to wake up at 5:30 or 5 in the morning, but I do when there's someone waiting for me at the gym because I paid them, you know? So then finally she hired somebody like this past year, and she's like, you're right. You know how many years it took her to figure that out? I was like, how many years did it take me to keep telling you this for you to finally get it?
Well, there are two things I thought of. One, like, have you ever gone out with a group of people that you've been talking to, working with, and then you take them to another event, and the guy on the stage or the woman says the same thing you just said, like, about a month ago?
Yes.
I think it comes down to us because we're so much drilling them, they kind of just fade out some of it.
Like a parent.
Yeah. And so, like, but it is a stat, and it might be a little bit less, might be more. 97% of people that hire a personal trainer go to the gym, right? 97%. So if you want to go to the gym, then hire a trainer. If you don't, odds are you're not going to go because you gotta do it. And they're like, you're probably not going to do it. Another thing that I thought of when you said that, I posted this meme like years ago. A lot of people are what we call ask holes.
I'm an ask hole.
Yeah, an ask hole where they ask for advice and they never do it. Like, so then why are you asking? Like, don't ask me, because then, of course, I give you the advice, I'm going to check on you later. Yeah. Right? So like me, when women tell me about a crappy guy they're with, I'll just, like, drop them. And they're like, oh, well, I mean, but no, drop them. Like, I swear to God, next week, if I call you and you still haven't dropped this guy, don't call me no more. Don't call me no more, because I'm not even listening to it, because you're trying to get me to justify your insanity. I'm not going to justify it. I'm going to tell you straight up, get rid of that dude.
Yeah.
It's over.
And I think I used to do that a lot, because I'm also the person that I have to be very particular of who's giving me advice, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like, sometimes I just want to ask questions just to hear what the response is going to be for me to analyze, right? Yeah. Not necessarily because I want your advice. So then I'll do that. So I know sometimes I could do that. I'll be like, I am an ask hole, right?
So you do it. So you do it.
So I do it. Yeah. But of course, if it's someone that I'm like paying, or a mentor, or someone that I highly respect, not that I don't respect people, but like someone that I like, okay, I really need to take this advice. Like I love especially masculine energy, because people don't realize that when you're a coach or when you're teaching, you have to operate in masculine energy. And we've talked about this before.
Yeah, I mean, I talk about it a lot online, because it's what women are talking about.
Yeah, and but then when I need times that I can fall into my feminine. So then I need masculine energy, or people that are like even more like that know that, so I can just fall back. Yeah. But I love like receiving, where I could be like, okay, let me receive right now, because I need to learn. I need to. Right. So that's why, like for me, when we were going back to that conversation about, in real estate, right? When I was just in real estate, and when I started, I could just be in my feminine, and then all these people were just kind of pouring into me. Right. A lot of them were men, right? But also what I've noticed in that industry too is it's very competitive amongst the women because of the men.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Why? Because they trying to date them?
I don't know what it is, but it always felt like,
women are catty when it comes to sales. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, who has the better purse, who has the better dress, who has the better shoes. But what really is the dictator behind that?
Yeah.
It's the attention from the men.
Well, at the end of the day, like, that's funny, because the real estate agents, like a lot of women, they look cute. But I ain't gonna lie, a lot of them are broke. So like they could pretend all they want and look good. But I remember I used to call them
flash no cash.
Yeah. I would say the reason why they call them real estate brokers, because they broke.
I have my team over here rolling their eyes. But it's true. It's true. And I think sometimes and I hate this. I was just talking about this with someone yesterday. It was like women are only valuing themselves through their bodies, right? Especially in those type of industries where they're like, if I look a certain way, if I dress a certain way, I'll get more sales, I get more attention.
It's like rages, I know.
And I'm just like, dude, use your mind. Like my biggest asset is my mind, right? Yeah. Like that's my money maker. In my mind, like, and I have to be intelligent enough when to dress a certain way, or act a certain way, or talk a certain way. That's a skill.
If women are trying to get more clients, or trying to get more business, just being sexy, okay, go ahead. But you're never gonna have the respect. And at the end of the day, you're never gonna know if this guy's only doing business with you because he's hoping at some point he's going to have what he wants.
Exactly.
Makes no sense. I don't know how a woman would want to live that life, but I've met real estate agents that actually are like, oh yeah, I met the husband and he wanted this and that with me. I'm like, they literally are okay with selling that only because they think that's going to get them more money. Yeah, you might, but you're not going to have no respect. Everyone's not going to respect you. So if that's okay with you, go ahead. It makes no sense to me though.
It's the respect factor for me. And it was funny because, that was one of my biggest concerns. Like, if I dress this or if I post this, will I lose respect, or will people not respect me? And then I thought to myself, man, you've built a reputation for so long. You carry yourself a certain way. People know not to play with you. Yeah. I'm not even going to worry about this. Worry about this.
Yeah, but I definitely want to talk a little bit about the masculine and feminine, because it's a big thing that women talk about online, calling men princesses. At the end of the day, they say this, but like then when you find a masculine man, you don't like him. So I don't know what that's about.
Yeah. So I don't know. I almost feel like women demasculate men a lot on social media, and like they rip them a new one, right? And that goes again with the whole like knowing when to be feminine, when to be masculine, right?
Why do you think I kind of do that to women, right? So like what women talk trash about men all day. So I talk trash about women, but in a nice way.
Yeah, but in a nice way. You're still kind of nice with it. Yeah. And I think there's men that know like if I take this too far, it's gonna hurt her feelings. So they,
I know what not to post. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But like going back to what you were saying though, like women that are masculine, that are mainly in their masculine, they're wondering why they're getting all these princesses, because you attract feminine men. Because you're masculine. You want to attract a masculine man, you got to be feminine. He does not want to date a dude. He doesn't want to date another man. He wants to date a woman that's soft and gentle and sweet, that will say nice things to him and take him out of his masculine for a little bit, because it's a lot of stress to be masculine all the time. You want to be a little bit soft every once in a while and not have to be always aggressive. But that's what I don't understand. Like, so when I see it online and women talk about it, I think it's funny. Like, if they bash men, they ain't talking about me, so it don't offend me at all.
Yeah.
But, like, that's why I post a lot about women, because I'm calling them out. Like, you all talking all that trash about men, but what about you? Let's talk about women for a second.
I think deep down, like, sometimes, especially when I'm like working a lot or overworking, like, let's say I'm doing this, I'm doing media, I'm doing the real estate, right? Like, I'm not sleeping, right? Or I'm stressed because I need to refinance something or whatever. That was recent. Sometimes I'd be like, why can't I just stay home and bake cookies? Like, why did I choose this lifestyle, right?
Look, and I'm glad that you said it, because I think a lot of women, even though they talk like trash that they wouldn't want that, please, you want to go to work every day, you want to constantly have to struggle and stress and have anxiety.
That's the biggest scam. That was the biggest scam.
That's feminist movement at the top. They all telling women, you don't need a man. I blame the Kardashians. Like, all of a sudden now everything is about what do you call it? What do they call it when you co-parenting? That's a Kim Kardashian thing. All of a sudden now women are like, I just get a man, have a baby, and we co-parent. Why? What happened to just being married? What happened to, like, building a family together, right? I mean, we both divorced, but, like, that was how we wanted it to be, right? We wanted
originally,
it to be. Like,
you want to be married and a girlfriend. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but most women right now, they following the Kardashian style. Like, I'm just going to eat up men and spit them out. I did a video about them, like, 5 years ago. I mean, I broke down their whole timeline. Like, literally, these women eat men, spit them out. That's what they do. And women follow them, young girls. Like, oh, the Kardashians are so... are they? Are they really that amazing?
Maybe what it is the glorification of the material, right? Yeah. It's the mansions and the purses and the clothes and all that stuff. Yeah. And I think, like, those are all great, but you don't want to sell your soul. Don't sell your soul for it, right?
But think about it. Are any of the Kardashians ever stayed in a relationship?
I don't know. Absolutely none.
None of them.
No. You're right. Yeah. I agree with that.
The mom is the worst. The momager. That's what they call her, the momager. She's the one that's
she's the mastermind behind. She's the mastermind behind all of that.
And she just moves from man to man. And think about every man that was in that family. They all messed up. Bruce Jenner turned into a woman. The other guy got on crack. The other one became an alcoholic. Kanye's still bipolar. Like, any man that goes into that family, it's over with.
Yeah, and it saddens me going away from that. Like, just even the women who just, again, but men are part of the instigation too, in the sense like the OnlyFans, right? Yeah. Like, girls go into OnlyFans. I just saw what you posted, and I thought that was the craziest thing. I was like, they only make $150 a month to sell their soul. A month? The average OnlyFans girl.
And trust me, women ask me all the time, I should do OnlyFans. No, you don't. No, you don't want to do
like, that. I thought to myself, like, why would you think that? But it's because someone's paying for it. Like, there wouldn't be prostitution if there weren't Johns, right? Like we
call them simps. Yeah. I would never pay for OnlyFans. Yeah. Like, and girls would hit me up on Snapchat. Oh, be a subscriber. I'm not subbing to your OnlyFans.
Yeah, and but the fact that even women think like this is the way that I can make money.
Yeah.
And it's young sad. Girls, sad, like all I could, and I'm like, you've been drilled by social media, society that tells you like.
I blame the Kardashians again on that one.
Yeah, whatever you blame, regardless, it's been infiltrated in young girls saying that this is the only way that you have value.
I just posted yesterday. Some of these women need to be on OfferUp, not OnlyFans.
OfferUp, wow. I did not read that one. Wow, OfferUp, that's wild.
Yeah. But like for $150, it's not even worth it.
It's not worth it. I could make that. I could make a program, sell it in like 1 hour, and make 100.
You could make that doing Uber.
Yeah. You could make that doing. You could do Uber. Yeah,
right.
Like
150. Like, what are you doing?
Oh yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. It is men. Men, like, women get all hyped up. Women get all hyped up about the attention they got online, but then when you got to look at the guys they get attention from, they're not the most quality guys. So you over here puffing your chest, I'm the hottest thing ever, lady. But look at the guys that are giving you all the love. They're not really sharp dudes. They're very weird and perverted.
They are. And I would hope that, and I'm going to close this out with, like, I think men also have to do better for women. Like, I had this one young lady come into my office and it's like, Jennifer, I always get, how do you handle this industry or handle men in the industry? Yeah. And I was telling you this before we came back on. She was like, I'm always dressing down. I have to dress down and then I get hit on more. And it's like, and I'll look like a bum. She'll literally say, I have to look like a bum, but then I get hit on more. I'm like, no, it's the opposite. You need to up it.
Yeah,
you need
gotta
to
look sharp.
you need to look sharp. Like
Right.
you got
Intimidating.
get the respect because of the way that you carry yourself and the way that you talk. So I think men, I don't know. They
No,
gotta do better.
I'll end it with that. Yeah, men need to do better. They're not old school thinking they're supposed to court women. You're supposed to like impress the woman. You're supposed to do things that says I want you and only you. And men, I think at the end of the day, they don't do that. And I'll blame women on this point because women don't make men commit anymore to be with them. So that's the problem. That's the biggest problem I see.
Yeah, you say that all the time. But this has been a fun conversation.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you coming on with us, Joe, and giving us the No B.S. conversation, your marketing and all that. Yeah. But for those, if they want to reach out to you, where would they go?
They can go check out my business page, which is Stop Chasing Customers, or you could just find me anywhere on social, Chicago's Joe De La Torre, and I'm on every platform. So anywhere you go, I'm there.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Joe, for being here. Thank you to the team here at the station, at the studio, actually my office. I don't know what, but everyone at WRMN and here at Illinois Media School. Thank you so much, guys. And make sure you guys stay tuned and stay with us for the next show. God bless. Have a great rest of your week.